Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos where today we're going to be talking about NFC West standings. And if you guys have watched all my other videos about predictions for each division, you would know what we're going to do. We're going to be talking about all their primetime games they play, what I think their records are going to be, and all that stuff. So I'm not going to talk too much, but I just want to get right into it because we have a lot to talk about with these teams because this is by far the most interesting division I have talked about. The first team I want to talk about today is the Los Angeles Rams, who are coming off a 10-7 record where they beat Minnesota dominantly in the wildcard round in Arizona. But the Rams are coming off a very successful season, like higher than what their expectations would have been, which they shouldn't have won the division, but injuries last year to San Francisco and just the Rams really coming together at the end of the year really helped them. But this is a new year. They just got Devontae Adams. Matthew Stafford's back for another year in LA. Sean McVay's the coach. Puka Nacua can just get better, and if he stays healthy the entire year, this team can be deadly. But they have 4 primetime games this year. They have 2 home, 2 away. They have Week 5 and Week 12 at home against San Francisco and Tampa Bay. And then they play on the road in Seattle and Atlanta Week 16 and 17, so back-to-back weeks around the end of the year on primetime. So I have them beating Houston on opening day. That's a very tough game against DeMeco Ryans and CJ Stroud and Nico Collins and that great defense. But I think they'll easily take care of Tennessee. I think they'll easily take care of the Colts. I think that they'll split this year with San Francisco. They will beat Jacksonville. I think they'll easily take care of New Orleans. They'll beat Seattle at least once. I think they're going to beat Tampa Bay on Sunday night at home. It's a home game. It's a tough environment for the Rams at least. It's just a crazy place to play. I don't think the Bucs are going to end up beating the Rams at home. And then I think that they're going to beat the Falcons and the Cardinals twice. They're going to sweep the Cardinals, which puts the record to a total of 12-5. Which is really exceeding their expectations. I think a little bit, 12-5, but I think that Sean McVay is a really good coach, and I think that he can lead this Rams team really to a high level of play. I really do. I think that this team can go far this year in the playoffs. I think they can go even further than the divisional round if they stay healthy, but it's up to the Rams. But that's how I feel about the Rams right now. The next team I want to talk about is the Arizona Cardinals, and Arizona's coming off a year they went 8-9. They started 6-4 and were playing some of the best football they've played since 2021. But second half of the year, again, the Cardinals just could not play to expectation, and they were very inconsistent, which led them to a losing record and missing the playoffs again. But the Cardinals have 2 primetime games this year. They have 1 at home, 1 on the road. Week 4 against Seattle and Week 9 in Dallas on Monday Night Football. And I don't feel great about their their record this year. I don't like that their schedule that much. I think it's tough. I think they have a tough division, especially. I think this year every single team can have a winning record, which is tough for Arizona. But I think that they're going to beat New Orleans opening day because the Saints are one of, if not the worst team in the league next year. I think they'll beat Tennessee. I think they'll beat Dallas because Kyler Murray has never lost to Dallas in his career. And for some reason, I don't think that's going to end this year. I think they're going to win in Dallas again. I think they'll beat Jacksonville, and I think they'll beat both Atlanta and Tampa Bay, which is going to put them just to 6-11. But the reason I'm putting them so low is because their defense, besides Budda Baker and Josh Sweat, they really don't have that much going for them. I think that, if they really add on to the defense in the draft next year and in free agency, this team with a good defense has a chance to win 9-11 games. But right now, I think their offense is still, they're all young, and none of them are really, besides Kyler Murray, have really reached their peaks yet. But I think it's a very tough division. I think their schedule can be tough. Arizona's 6-11, I think, is a little under for them for coming off an 8-9 year, but that's just how I see them right now. The next team I want to talk about is San Francisco, and the 49ers. They got killed by injuries last year. They didn't start the year incredible. After that Jets game week 1, they really just kept dropping each week with injuries. Their level of play, the defense got worse. Brock Purdy wasn't what he was. Brandon Ayuk obviously wasn't what he was. Neither was Deebo Samuel. And McCaffrey was hurt all year. It was just a big issue with injuries in San Francisco last year. But the league trusts them still to obviously play well because they have 5 primetime games this year. And 3 of them are home, 2 are on the road. They play Thursday Night Football against the Rams. Next, they play Sunday Night Football versus Atlanta at home. Then they play Monday Night Football against Carolina and Indianapolis Week 12 and Week 16. And they end the year Week 17 at home versus the Bears, which could be an interesting game if the Bears play like how they did against the Bills a couple days ago, which obviously, it's just preseason. But if they play like they did, that could be a really, really good game to watch Week 17. But if San Francisco can stay healthy this year and Brandon Ayuk comes back in early October or late September and McCaffrey stays healthy all year, and obviously a good George Kittle and Juwan Jennings, this team really can do exactly what they were in 2022 and 2023 when they went to the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. I think that they'll beat Seattle on opening day. It's in Seattle, that's tough, but I see them doing it because I don't think Seattle's going to be quite there yet with team chemistry, with a new quarterback and the coach still going into their second year. But I think they're going to beat the Saints. They're going to beat Arizona. They're going to sweep the Cardinals. They're going to beat Jacksonville. They're going to beat Atlanta. They're going to beat the Giants. I think they're going to beat the Rams at least once. They're going to beat the Panthers, Browns, and Titans. They're also going to beat Indianapolis in Indy on Monday night, and then they're going to beat the Bears Sunday night, which is going to put them to 13-4, which is the best the Niners have done record-wise since 2022. They went 13-4 that year, which might be higher than most people are seeing the 49ers being this year. But I think if this team can stay healthy and be what they have been in the years past, they can be really good. So I think 13-4 is honestly really good for them. Maybe the number 1 seed or maybe even 2. So that's right now how I think San Francisco is going to go into next year. Okay guys, sorry that I'm wearing something different now. It's because my last clip that I already did for the Seahawks totally cut out, and I did that hours ago. So I'm just gonna redo it now so I can still get a video out by tomorrow. Anyway, the last team we have to talk about is Seattle. And they are coming off a year where Geno Smith was their quarterback and led them to a 10-7 record, which was just short of the NFC West and the playoffs, which sucked for Seattle because it's the best record they've had since 2020, I think. So that's a bummer for them, but they're on a completely different story now with Sam Darnold as their quarterback. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are not there anymore. They're rolling with Cooper Kupp, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jake Bobo, and all of those young players now. So they have 4 primetime games this year. They have 2 on the road and 2 at home. They have two Thursday Night Football games, Week 4 at Arizona and hosting the Rams Week 16. And they have a Monday Night Football game against Houston Week 7 and a Sunday Night Football game at Washington Week 9. This is going to be kind of an up year for Seattle with Sam Darnold in his first year at quarterback, but they can still have a winning record and honestly make the playoffs. But I have them beating New Orleans Week 2. I think they're going to lose to San Francisco. They're going to sweep the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be that great this year, honestly. I think that the Bucs are going to lose to Seattle. I think that they're going to easily take care of Tennessee. I think they'll beat the Falcons. I think they'll beat the Colts. And I think they'll also beat Carolina. And then to end the year off, Week 18, I think they're going to beat San Francisco, because at that point I have San Francisco being 13-3 and not having that much to play for at that point. So Seattle's going to pick up that win, which would give them a record of 9-8 to end the year, which could sneak them in as a wild card team or barely miss the playoffs like last year. So the final division standings are going to stand at San Francisco at 13-4, the Rams at 12-5, the Seahawks at 9-8, and the Cardinals at 6-11, dead last in the division. So I think this is a very, very competitive division this year. I think that any team can honestly win that, or go to the playoffs, excuse me. I think San Francisco will be much more competitive this year. I think the Rams will be as competitive as ever. But that's how I see the NFC West going, and I hope that you guys have a good rest of your summer. There are 2 weeks to go until the NFL season begins, so let's go for that. Go Bills, and have an amazing rest of your day.